Everybody, Orange Podcast Bad, episode 22. How's it going, Paul? How you doing? Doing
Top of the
good?
world, Ma.
That's
Oh, yeah.
awesome. That's awesome. I'm clicking buttons here to... no, I don't want to redirect. Let's do all platforms. All right, we're good to go. Yeah, like I was telling you in the green room, I had some clips. We'll have to work out whatever technical difficulties we're having. I might play one of the clips towards the close of it, just because it's pretty funny to watch. So at Carb Day, Indianapolis 500, it's just a different event than any other race. It's all month long. They do stuff. So Carb Day traditionally was for people to do their final tunes on their carburetor. Obviously, there's no carburetors anymore. Fuel injected V6 twin turbos that they're running. But it's still a huge day at the track. And a lot of people will get tickets even just to that day only. Um, Lots of little mini races. They do team. That's when they do the team pit stop racing. It's a time challenge, uh, and that's the final day of that. Penske won. I know he's under a lot of hot water for doing some car
Boy, isn't
mods.
he ever? What was his time? Do you remember?
I didn't catch. I was out. I just saw a notification come across my phone that it had happened, and I forgot to go back and watch it. But dude, it was something retarded, like 3 seconds for four wheels, like unbelievably.
Unbelievable. Yeah.
Right. So there's concerts. There was concerts today. What's called the Snake Pit. It's a part of the infield. And they do have a concert stage set up there, but it didn't always. It was like the north end of the infield on the inside of the track where you can almost barely see about that much at turn three from the infield because just the terrain. There's a golf course. Like nobody, unless you go to this place, nobody understands how massive Indianapolis Motor Speedway is. It is
Wow.
massive. So think about this. On Sunday, there will be 400,000 people in this facility. That's the size of a mid-sized city. Yes, 400,000 people attend live. Can you imagine? NASCAR
No.
can't do an event that big. The Brickyard is at Indianapolis Motor Speedway, but they don't draw 400,000 people. They
No.
just
Maybe 70, 80 grand at its
yeah.
peak popularity. Yeah.
Right, and that is since far declined, which it is what it is. NASCAR goes up and down, but yeah, Carb Day. So I'll play the video at the end as we're closing out. But so the Wienermobiles came in from all over the country. The Oscar Mayer hot dog big vans, and they've got
Yeah.
They got a top end of 60 miles an hour. They went out and I think it was like a 4 lap race. I think I have the last like lap and a half. And it's just funny to watch. In the stands were full, at least on the straightaway, just full, and the crowd was loving it. They're all screaming and hooting and hollering for
Oh my
what?
God! Really?
Yeah, which
So
is
they.
why
Well,
on a
how many Wienermobiles?
I think there was 5 or 6 out on the track.
Oh my God! Are they rubbing and drafting and stuff?
They're
Or
drafting, yeah. So on the final straightaway, I believe Relish Dog was the name of the car. Used a draft and came down and overtook the lead car to win the race. And the funniest thing about it is the entire crowd gets on their feet and they're just, ah! Just having the time of their life, right? Watching half a dozen Oscar Mayer Wienermobiles run around the motor speedway.
I'm really gonna have to put that on my list of things I gotta see.
I would do the weekend. I would come in so you can do Carb Day. Take Saturday to relax, go around the city, try some of the local foods, and then go back for race day on Sunday. It's just so much fun. And after, if you'll want to take Saturday off because you're going to be out there on carb day. You're going to be out in the sun for 8 straight hours with all the different events. So if you give yourself a break Saturday and then the race, probably about 5 hours if there's no rain delay. 3 hours for
Right.
the race, an hour to get in, an hour to get out, because you go through security just like the president would be there. You can take your own cooler and your own beer, so buy beer at the local, drugstore, and they will open your cooler up. And as long as they run their hand through it and it's just ice and beer and some waters, you just walk right on through with it. Saves you from buying $20 a can beers inside the track. It's a good time.
Oh
I've been
yeah,
to
that's
many.
what I'm
I've
talking
been to
about.
many.
Yep.
Oh, absolutely. And you can just buy a styro. I mean, you don't have to fly into town with a cooler. And then just throw the styro in a can when you're walking out.
Yeah, yeah. Keystone
Absolutely.
Light, the bag of ice in your styro cooler.
Yep. You'll buy whatever year it is, 2027 Indy 500 koozie from one of the NASCAR vehicles, the merch trucks they have out there.
Yeah, there you go, dude. Yep.
Right? Well, whoever you pick,
Heck yeah.
Stingray Rob, that's the koozie you get. I can't believe, was he like 25? The pole sitter this year is a rookie who's never raced IRL in his life. He just came up from the minor leagues, and he is the fastest car on the track and the number one position, pole position. I can't remember his name. He is Russian. And he said that, of course, then they had to ask him a political question. He goes, all we want is peace. It was a perfectly done answer. And he went back to the racing,
Right.
talking about racing.
So my understanding is that you either get a twin turbo Honda or a twin turbo GM, but those are the only two engine blocks that are in Indy right now.
No, they still have Toyota, Ford, and the other two you mentioned. Toyota and Ford are
Oh, they
both in
do.
there too. Yep. Yeah, they've got the Mustang and the Camry, but they're IRL cars.
Camry. You're muted. You're muted, Sean. Oh, I'm muted.
I think NASCAR doesn't NASCAR run a Camry too? I'm pretty sure
Oh
they
yeah.
do.
Yeah. Yep. I like
Which
the
I
old
mean,
days with NASCAR with Davey Allison and Robert Kowicki, and you had a Thunderbird and you had a Monte
yes,
Carlo, you know, and I forget what the Dodge was, the whatever Sebring or whatever.
dude. Yeah, it was awesome. I like it. Right? It was so what NASCAR was supposed to represent the birth of the rum runner out of Appalachia. And
Yeah.
right, and now it's turned into all the cars look identical. All the cars have identical setups. All that and they you just like this is a it's not what NASCAR was, right? You were out souping up
No, man.
cars so you could outrun
I,
cops.
yeah. And I enjoyed those days when, man, I remember Alec Kowicki, man, when he'd win a race, he was Polish and he'd do his victory lap backwards.
Right.
That was NASCAR, dude. That was the shit right there, the
Yeah.
28 car Allison, and yeah, the early days of Earnhardt and the three with the good wrench, that there's good wrench doesn't even exist anymore. So,
Right?
man, that was it. That was outlaw racing, and man, all them guys, you know, rubbing and taking each other out, throwing helmet at each other when
Oh
they'd come
god,
by
yeah.
and shit. And they
Bar
wonder
fight.
why viewership has gone down. They wonder why participation has gone down. You have this, oh, they used to have, remember, Sean, they had amalgamation. So if you wanted to run a Monte Carlo in NASCAR, General Motors or Chevrolet had to have that body style car for sale for at least 500 units. Same with the Thunderbird. Back in with Davey Allison and his T-Bird,
Yep.
they had to have 500 of them that were at least the amalgamation to make the NASCAR run. And I forget what they call the body styles now. They've got a term for it, but it's just, and what's his name gets a $250,000 fine because his bumper lip is 3/4 of an inch farther out. That I just read that the other day. I forget it was Brad Kowalski. I forget Brad's last name, but yeah, it was like 3/4 of an inch. They fined him $500,000 with a 3-race suspension, and I'm like, are you kidding me now?
Well,
Come on.
and so a lot of this, from what I remember, and it happened in open wheel to an extent too, was in the name of safety, because drivers were launching themselves into the stands and obviously losing their lives, and fans were losing their lives. But it's gotten to the point that they've used this that that's why I think it's called stock car now. Every car looks identical. Doesn't matter the brand. I mean, the horsepower is going to be within 1 or 2 horsepower of each other. They've taken the innovation out to make the thing go faster, and that's why I don't think NASCAR is ever going to achieve the speeds that Indy Racing League car will ever make. I just they can't innovate
Yeah,
them.
or F1. So F1 is just the opposite. They don't care about driver skill. It's all about technology.
Hmm.
And wedges that go up and down, and spoilers that move, and independent braking that automatically does when you go into a turn. And it's F1 is all about technology. IndyCar is open wheel NASCAR,
Yeah,
basically.
yeah, yeah. Which but it's a lot faster. It's still
Way
faster.
faster. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
40 to
You go
50.
212 miles an hour coming out of turn 4 out on the straightaway, and you're doing 212, 214. Good God Almighty, son.
Sunday is looking like it's going to be in the 70s, low 70s, at race start. So we might be seeing 225s, 228s, coming into turn one. Because
Mm,
the track temperature shouldn't be so hot that it's immediately melting the tires off
right.
every
Yeah.
40 laps, every 30 laps. So I
Yeah.
think we're going to see some serious speed on Sunday. Should be. And again, a couple of things. If you're going to watch it on TV, because you obviously hadn't made plans to fly into Indianapolis yet, I would go ahead and watch it on TV. Turn the volume down. Indianapolis Motor Radio Network, which has been broadcasting the races since its inception, will be, you can just, on any of your smart devices or your phone, the call station will be WIBC this year, and you can listen to it on your smart device. And they are the best broadcasters in the world, and it's going to be so much better than whoever the hell they throw on Fox or Fox Sports for this. But so again, for everybody, that's WIBC. You can pick that up off any smart device. Use your iHeartRadio app, something like that. You're gonna get
Yeah.
a way better experience. Doesn't mean you can't still throw it on the TV. Just mute the TV volume. You're gonna have
Yeah.
much better experience. So, and it's like I said, I'm seeing it's gonna be fast. I mean, there's been years I've been there where it was in the 90s at start, and it's only gonna be like 71 or 72 at race start at noon Eastern. They're gonna be flying. Probably have to do an extra pit because they're just gonna have their pedal to the floor for the first half of
Oh
the
yeah.
race. I mean,
Mhm.
why not? Right? So, yeah. Oh, I wish they would let NASCAR go back to running NASCARs and not this stock car crap with all these rules and points per series and make
Yeah.
it fun
Just get
again.
away from all that and go back to taking the glass windows out, replacing them with plexiglass.
Yep.
You know, you get a certain cam, you get a certain four barrel, you get certain headers. You know, you got some safety stuff put in there, obviously, and
Yeah,
and you just let them boys get out there and run, dude.
I agree. And I think it'd be more fun. Especially since NASCAR runs a lot of shorter tracks too. It would be interesting to see with the amount of torque you can get out of a hybrid engine, them shooting out of one of those S turns with their foot to the floor and letting the hybrid motors just let them rip
Oh
up
yeah,
to full speed on the
just
straightaway.
let them rip. Yeah,
I
yep.
think that's where you could see a hybrid gas engine drive really excel on those short, twisty tracks that you see a lot of NASCAR run on.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So, and then you're not forcing people over to electric like F1 is. F1's got some an all electric series going now that I think their viewership is the three people who are in attendance. 'Cause who's watching that shit? What's their
I
pit?
watched about 5 laps of an electric F1, and I just turned it off. I just could. It was like, okay, I'm going to watch the Tour de France because it's more interesting than this is. you know.
Right? Oh, I know. Like, screw it. I'm gonna go back and watch Days of Thunder. I'll just rewatch that for the 20th time.
Oh, that's great. How much racing experience you have? Well, not much, but I play Gran Turismo.
Oh my god. So this video I'm not gonna play. I'm gonna play the Wiener Dog one later. The Wiener cars. So remember when Rush would mention once in a while, and Rush was a pretty humble guy. That President Trump would call his house and check on him after he found out that Russ's cancer diagnosis. And
Yeah,
sometimes Catherine, his wife, would pick up the phone and say, "Hey, he can't talk right now." And Rush or Trump would just be like, "No, no, no, that's fine. I actually wanted to talk to you. Are you getting everything you need? Can I send stuff? I have all the resources of the world at my disposal.
yeah.
Do you need a spa day?
What do you need?
Can
Yeah.
I have you? Can I have you at Mar-a-Lago? I can set you up for the day. You get to right. You get your petty mani and a massage. And they would just be in tears that Trump would, right, call them and cared so much about them. The both of them. So Scott, I might email you these clips later just so you can see them if you haven't seen them yet.
I gotta
Scott,
see them. Yeah.
all right, I'll email them to you after the show. So Scott, he's doing his morning podcast. I can't remember if it's 9 a.m. or 10 a.m. Eastern. I don't get a chance to check it out very often, but I get to see a lot of clips from it. And his producer clipped up. He's talking about. He goes, "So I got this call," Scott says, and it's from a Florida number. And he goes, "Ever since I announced the news, right, that I have terminal prostate cancer, I get a lot of calls. So, and I just can't field them all. I can't handle them all." And he goes, "So it was a Florida number. I didn't recognize it, and so I sent it to voicemail." He goes, a little time went by, and he's like, "Oh, I better check this, just see if it's something I need to deal with." So Scott says he picks up his phone and he goes, you look at your phone and you go to the voicemail and it's like it transcribes the call for you. And he says
Right. Yeah.
the first sentence before I can hit play says, "Hey Scott, it's your favorite president." And Scott goes, Holy crap, I just sent the most important person in the world to voicemail.
The voicemail.
So he goes on and he goes, Trump let I'm not going to go into details, but Trump left me a very detailed, very long message and said, this is a number you can reach me at. Call me back, please. And Scott was like, listen, I really appreciate that, but surely the president has got to be too busy to take a call back from me, right?
Yeah, right.
So he says 4 or 5 hours go by and the same number rings again. He's like, he answers it. Hello, Scott. It's your favorite president. And so Trump called him back because
No way.
he didn't get a call from Scott because Scott's like, look, this is ridiculous. You do
Yeah,
your
it's over the
thing.
top. He's like, yeah, right.
Right. He's like, and I super appreciated the voicemail, but that was right. I'm not going to waste your time and little old me, right? I'm just the cartoon writer. And so he says, he goes, I'm not going to go into any detail of the call. That would be wholly inappropriate. But it basically was checking in and making sure I have every resource available to me. And if not, that Trump would make it happen because he's the leader of the free world and he can make things happen. And he said, Mr. Trump, yeah, I've got everything I need. And I just really appreciate it. That was all he would say about the call. But it just goes to show you like everybody that demonizes and bastardizes Trump, and Trump hates, like the left will say, Trump hates you. He hates all you people. No, he doesn't.
He
And
does. And it's genuine. It's not It's not staged. It's not pre made, or it's not. Because I can tell you right now, Trump's handlers are going, "Sir, do you really want to, do that?" And he's like, "Hell yeah, that's my boy. I got to call him and make sure everything's okay."
right?
You are frozen. Okay, folks. So obviously we're having some technical difficulties. We're trying to get things back up and running. Um, but it's Friday before Memorial Day weekend, and that's going to be awesome. Memorial Day is going to be great.
How do you give me man?
So we lost Sean for a little bit. Let's give him a minute to try to get back up on online. But like I said, man, I know everybody's going to be cooking out and having their partners over and doing the big Memorial Day thing. And, you know, I got to say, hats off and a big salute, uh, including my father, my grandfather, and my brother, who all made the ultimate sacrifice fighting in wars. Um, that that we really respect and honor those folks this weekend. That's what this weekend's all about. It's a Memorial Day, and I gotta say, I've got a lot of folks, thanking me for my service and that kind of thing over this weekend, which I do appreciate. All veterans appreciate that. They love hearing that kind of stuff. But that's real. That's Veterans Day. That's not Memorial Day. Memorial Day is those that made the ultimate sacrifice. As long as we keep that in mind, that's what's going to guide and push through us this weekend.
Yep. And I think I'm gonna
We got nothing, Sean. So listen, Sean's going to reboot. We're going to be right back. Just give us a couple of minutes to get this going, and we'll be right back. Just give us a minute or two.
All right.
There he is.
All right. Yeah, dude, I had to totally do a whole system reboot. Insane. I don't know what that was about.
Yeah. So I did a whole Memorial Day speech while you were doing that.
I appreciate that. I heard a little bit of it on the because I have the X live stream running on my phone just so I can monitor it and see if there's any chats. And I appreciate that because I do think people sometimes miss out what this is about. Obviously, if you're a leftist, Memorial Day is just an excuse to drink beer and cook on the grill because you don't care about freedom. But yeah, it was. So it was actually called up until about 1910 Decoration Day. Why did they call it Decoration Day? That's when you went out and decorated the grave sites of your soldier buddies or maybe your parents or a friend like that. So it was called Decoration Day before it was called a Memorial Day, but I like Memorial Day just the same. And it definitely it's one of those where people make the mistake of saying Happy Memorial Day. Say how acknowledge Memorial Day and be happy that you have freedom because of it, right? And I think that's
That's
what
exactly right.
from what I think here, and I think that's the point you were making, and it's true. It's true.
It's
That
true. Yeah.
doesn't mean you can't go to that cookout. It doesn't mean that Sunday you can't watch the race. It's not that, but just remember that this race wouldn't exist if those people didn't sacrifice so that we had the freedom to have 400,000 people show up and watch cars make left-hand turns. So, yep.
Yeah, 100% right. And I got to say, uh, tomorrow we're headed over to the VA National Cemetery where my brother and my father and two of my uncles are interred, just to pay our respects there, like we do 2 or 3 times a year. You know,
Yeah.
they all made the ultimate sacrifice sacrifice. So, and then on Monday at the Veterans Memorial that we have here in town, I'm on that advisory board. So we've got a retired Special Forces colonel who's going to give a little speech. And then they've asked me to give a little speech about my time in and stuff. So uh, the local TV and newspaper guys are going to be there. And we've got a memorial that is in granite, has everyone in Wood County who was a veteran that gave their lives is up on this wall. And every year, as attrition and, boomers get older and stuff, we usually add 3 or 4 names every year
Yeah,
at, exclusively of Wood County folks that have represented in the armed services. So it's a pretty big deal for us. And I'm really honored that they asked me to say a few words there.
that's awesome. That'll be good. So, I gotta ask. The Senate looks like it's going to try to destroy the big beautiful bill. It didn't. It cut spending, but it didn't cut spending for another 5 years, which I predicted when Trump was running. Trump spends. That's the way Trump. And Trump's whole theory is that if we can get the economy back up to a GDP like coming out of World War II of like 4%, 4.5%, 5%, stuff we haven't seen in 100 years. The It doesn't matter that the spending levels are where they are because our GDP will be so massive. We'll be taking in so much tax revenue that we'll actually be able to finally pay down the debt. But he says we got to spend to make that happen. It I Some economists say that it could totally work. There's other economists that say, or you got people like Thomas Massey and Rand Paul say, look, we're already 37 trillion in debt. You're making this now 47 trillion over 10 years. They're like, it doesn't matter how much GDP America's producing, you're going to bankrupt us. You got any thoughts on, or will they even pass this thing at all? Or will it just end up being another freaking CR with none of the good stuff in it that we want?
Yeah. So, yeah, I got to tell you, I'm aggravated at Senate Republicans because Chip Roy, John Cornyn, and those ilk, right? They still cling to this old congressional thing. You have got to fund my railroad track, uh, to Ben Hur, Texas, or I'm not voting for this.
Right.
Well, that's the antithesis of what this bill is for. This bill is for reducing the debt, and shame on you guys for having your little, I got to get reelected, so you got to give me this or I'm not voting for it. It's just absolutely on the verge of being sacrilegious. It just darkens my heart that these guys who fancy themselves fiscal conservatives and all that, and they're not. They're coming up on reelection, and they've caved into, I've got to have this project and this project, or I'm not going to get reelected.
Right, because
And they've convinced themselves of that.
all politics are local, and I get that. All politics are local. It's like Thomas Massey. I think whether it's principally he was right. He didn't affect any change whatsoever. I literally they just went about their day and voted it through the House. So Trump can call him a grandstander. What Trump I think does miscalculate with Massey though is that in his district and his voters, his constituents love him. Absolutely love him. And I think Trump, even with all the money he's raising for the midterms, I think he'd have a hard time getting a serious primary contender against Massey or Rand Paul. The people of Kentucky love Rand Paul, love him.
Oh
So
yeah, he's legacy. Yeah, they loved his dad.
yeah, so I don't think he's going to be. I don't think Trump's going to be super successful in primaries there. There's definitely primaries I think he should focus on. I mean, for the love of God, Mitch McConnell wants to run again. Can somebody please primary that dinosaur? Jesus. I mean, he's clearly
So the other thing is, I'm theoretically I'm against one big beautiful bill.
mhm.
I want several bills that concisely address problems.
Yeah,
So I don't want one big beautiful bill that has
a bunch of
everybody's covered bridge, and all this kind of crap attached to it. No, I want a bill on education. I want another bill on the border. I want another bill on NATO. I want another bill on funding Ukraine and Russia. I want another bill on India and Pakistan. And I want those guys to stand up and vote on those issues,
right.
not a big, beautiful bill where it's got all of this fluff in it. And like you said, even though, down the road it's going to lower things, $10 trillion added, you're going in the wrong direction, bruh.
Yeah, because the tax cuts are in there. I mean, they make permanent the 2017 Trump tax cuts that would be expiring sometime later this year. There's some other tax cuts in there. I mean, no tax on tips is in there up to $25,000 at the federal level. Again, you're picking winners and losers when you say who has to pay tax and who doesn't have to pay tax. We need to have a bigger conversation about should we abolish or should we repeal? Should we have a constitutional amendment that repeals the 16th Amendment and go back to strictly tariffs, where you just pay taxes on everything you buy, but you wouldn't pay any income taxes. Uh, and it's a lot of junk in the bill. It always is so much junk in these big um, bills, and it was designed this way by Republican leadership because that meant in the Senate it didn't have to have cloture. It just had to have 51. It just had to
Right.
have a majority, which is why they did it this way. But this is why the American voters are sick of all this. We haven't had a budget, an actual budget bill, since the 80s. This would be another reconciliation. And if the Senate blows it up,
No, well, I gotta say, not my favorite person, and I didn't vote for him ever. But Bill Clinton balanced the budget not once but twice. He balanced it
he
twice,
did.
and he worked across the aisle and had help from the other side, and he balanced the damn budget. And it just seems like, with all the rhetoric and all the things Trump is saying, that he acquiesced on this and said, "Yeah, you guys go ahead and do what you think." And I disagree with it.
Yeah, so Clinton did balance the budget twice. They weren't budgets. They were still continuing resolutions. Congress hasn't passed a budget since, I got Trump. Oh, your audio's dead again? I'm looking at it. Hold on. I'm showing. Yeah, I should have audio. I don't know what's going on there. So hopefully you'll be able to start hearing me soon. I don't know what's going on, but I'm showing audio on my end. Uh, nope, lost you. Lost him completely. So, yeah, Clinton also had the distinct advantage of having a Republican and House and Senate was a Republican majority, which held his feet
What
to the
the
fire.
hell?
I don't know. You're in twice, it looks like. Both your cameras are going. I don't understand how that works. Man, we are having a hell of a day with technical issues. Jeez, man, I don't know what's going on. But man, we just got
Holy cow, dude.
technical issue after technical issue after technical issue. What a day! We're still fighting through it. So I don't know if you can hear me yet, Paul.
Yep, we got you.
All right, because
Lima Charlie.
I'm looking at the audio levels. It shows I should be up there.
Oh, a couple of minutes ago, though, dude, you were so underwater. You sounded like a Jay Z album or something, so auto tuned.
Now, let's see. I think it was part of the reboot. So, yeah, it should be. It should be Lima Charlie. At least that's what my controls are showing. I've got the audio controls up, and it shows mic gain is nominal. Anyway, we'll muscle through it. We'll figure it out. It'll go down as being the funnest podcast we've ever had because we look like rank amateurs because we can't get anything right today. We can't get the video to play. I froze. Yep. You froze. Yeah. Well, you know what? Let's blame it on what would a Democrat do? Let's blame it on Trump. It's Trump's fault. It's got to be Trump's fault. Yeah. So
no, it's Elon Musk. You know, he controls the airwaves and stuff. It's him. He's doing this. He sees how potentially powerful we are, and he's like, "No, yeah, these kids out here doing this yeah, we're not having that."
They got dozens of followers. We gotta nuke them. We gotta nuke them. They can't hear any of
Yeah, we gotta nuke them. They've got 11 followers. We're not handling. We're not. No.
Right. So, it'll take a while. I just sent the video clips to you to check out later. It'll probably they're both like 40 or 50 megabytes each. It's gonna take a while before you get them. But you'll have them, so you know what I'm talking about. You'll get to see the Scott Adams clip and the Wiener race over at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. I thought you would enjoy those. So yeah, Big Beautiful Bill wasn't in it for me. Not a fan. Lost Paul again. Oh, what a wonderful day. We lost you again.
Oh yeah, I just got a thing that popped up and said reconnect.
Wow. I wonder if it's Rumble actually, because our stream over on X is solid. I wonder if it's the Rumble platform might be having issues right now. Very well could be. But we can't stream directly to X, so.
Yeah, I think we ought to just do a Teams call.
No. I'm looking into that. I'm looking at Zoom, and there's a reason I'm looking at Zoom. I've tested Zoom for doing this, so it wouldn't be live at say 8. It would be live at 9ish, but we'd still do the call around 8. And it's got this cool feature. So obviously you can go into presentation mode. I can play videos, or I could play audio clips right from Zoom. But also, once it processes the video, it will separate it. So like when I'm talking, I'll be full screen on the final finished product, and then when you talk, it looks like the camera switch and it goes to you. So it doesn't have us all in these blocks.
Oh yeah.
And then if we're both talking and going back and forth, it'll show both of us. And it really is really intelligent how well it does it. So I was looking at
Yeah,
that.
we've been. Yeah, this is. Yeah, I did 3 Zoom calls today, and it. Yeah, that's what it did.
Yeah, and right. So and I'll look at it over the weekend. Only because I tested it with that guy we used to hang out with had through the website. He had a subscription to it, and it lets you download it. So I could upload it and send it out as a premiere video and get it to all the places. So get it to Twitter, get it to Twitch, get it to locals, X, get it to what else are we on? We're on Amazon Prime.
YouTube.
We're on YouTube. We're on iHeartRadio. Yeah.
Yeah,
So, but yeah, I just need. We'll just we'll. I mean, we'll try it. I can always cancel the subscription, right? And just try it and see if we like it better. I think that's fair. Especially if I
that's
can play.
fair. Yep.
Especially if I can play these videos, because I want you to be able to see what I'm seeing, so we can react to it like we used to do on the drive. Because that way you and I can comment on the clip, and that's what I was just looking to kind of replicate how I would play the audio of the clip. But it doesn't do anything if the other people in the room with me can't see what the audience is seeing, right? Because the audience can
Right.
see the
Yeah.
video and hear the audio, but apparently people in the room can't. So whatever, it is what it is. Well, do you have anything else going into the? I lost him again. The weekend? No, because I had a lot of this geared around some of the clips, and I do want to play one going out the door. So we'll see if he can bring you back up. Well, I lost him for good. Yeah, let's see. No, yeah, he's in there twice still. Nope, just once. Yeah, we'll make him a moderator, see if that helps. All right, so I'm gonna play, and I know Paul's not gonna be able to see it. I don't know if he's rebooting his thing. I wanted to play. Oh yeah, I did want to get into the Harvard thing if we can get Paul back in. But let me. You guys got to see this. So, we'll see if Paul looks like he's reconnecting. We'll see if we can get him back in. Man, what a
Man,
rough day.
I keep getting thrown out.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on.
I
I'll
keep
look.
getting thrown out. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, and I didn't do that. So I even promoted you to moderator, but that's only going to be for the chat room, and nobody's chatting with us right now. Yeah, yeah, you look solid. I don't see what the issue is, but whatever. Well, we'll work it out by the next one. Well, so anyways, did you have anything that you wanted to cover? Well, we still got a little time left before we maybe play this clip of the weenie car races. Is there anything that you'd planned on covering on today's show?
No, not really. Just the Memorial Day stuff, and
Okay.
how to properly celebrate and that kind of thing.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so I guess let's close. Well, we won't close early, but we're gonna close talking a little early. I do want to play those clips for our audience since it was Carb Day and we're coming into Race Day. I want to play at least that one. You're not going to be able to see or hear any of it. I'll give you a ring, maybe like 10 minutes, and explain what I'm gonna, what I'm thinking ultimately. That we don't need to talk shop here. So if that sounds good to you.
Yeah, that sounds good, bro.
All right, man. So you could hang or you could drop, but I'm going to go ahead and play. I'm going to start this clip. It's 2 minutes and 14 seconds of the Oscar Mayer Wienermobile racing around the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. It's pretty funny. And to the
Oh,
audience that gets to see it, Paul, I did email it to you. Probably take a minute to download once you get it. But man, it's just so cool to see all those fans up there cheering on the Wienermobiles that hit a top speed of 60 miles an hour.
yeah,
I'm gonna
that really, yeah, that really sounds cool. I'd like to. I'll go to the email. I got it, so I'll go